Hi there, Jamie Keat here today at Teachers Tech. Hope you're having a great day today. Today I want to show you DaVinci Resolve 17, and it's the free version I'm going to show you. So by that I mean there's no watermark, completely free, and this is a super powerful video editor that can do tremendous things. But there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. So what I want to do today is just start with the basics, get you going with it, and then create more videos to kind of walk you through different parts. At any time, just take a look down below in the description and you'll see timestamps that you can jump to different parts. But let's get started today with DaVinci Resolve 17. I'll put the link to this page down below in the description so you can get to it to download it if you haven't already. But when you're at this point, just click on the download now. I'm using DaVinci Resolve 17 beta. This is the free one right here. You can see it's available for Mac, Windows, or Linux. And today I'm using it on Windows. I'm going to test out my Mac one next week with it. But for today, it's Windows. I went and downloaded it. It was a little over a 2 gig install. So things to know about DaVinci Resolve: making sure the tech specs match up, so you'll want to check into that and your video card is powerful enough to run it. But with that said, let's get started with opening up the app. When you open DaVinci Resolve 17, you're going to be met with this window here. Now, this window is just at the starting, it's opening your old projects or creating a new project. You'll notice you have local database. This is where your videos are being saved locally on your machine. You can create new databases if you need to, but I'm not going to get into any of that. And it's nothing you really need to play with around when you're first beginning. But what I'm going to do right away is just start a new project. And what you see here are untitled project. You see example projects here. This was brought forward from my DaVinci Resolve 16. And when I update it, then it was able to bring these and I could open them up. But I'm going to start a new project just like I'm starting for the very first time with making my first video. So I'm going to go new project right here, and when this opens I'm going to name it. So I'll call this my movie, just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and hit create now. So what opens up are all the different windows of DaVinci Resolve. And if you're new to video editing, this can be overwhelming, but what we'll do is walk through it kind of a step-by-step. And this video, as I said, will be more of the basics of getting started with your first edits and then exporting it as your final project. Now, down below, and I'll just show you the different tabs because these are an important part of DaVinci Resolve. There's these different tabs at the bottom. Now, in this video, we'll be working in the media, and this is where we import our media into. So when I say media, that's things like your video clips that maybe you took from your phone or from your video camera or something you've downloaded and you've brought them over to your computer and you need to bring them in. This could also be images or audio too. So when we say media, it could be a lot of different things. There's the cut down here. We're not working in this, but this is where you can do really fine tuning to your editing through here. But this is the major one that we'll be working in with today. This is the edit. So this is where we're going to be creating our video inside this edit tab. We'll be doing our trimming and our slicing and transitions and everything to make our video just right. And just to note these other ones, you notice that there's fusion here. This is where we could be adding our special or adding our effects. We have color grading. If there's enhancement to your coloring on your videos, and this will be future videos because this is for a free video editor, this makes it so powerful. But again, step by step, if you're new to this, it's good to just start with the basics. And we have Fairlight, and this is where we're dealing with our audio to enhance everything there. But another tab we are going to be using is this deliver at the end. And so the deliver is when you're done. So we make our first video, we have all our edits in it. It's in DaVinci Resolve. It's not ready yet to put on YouTube or to share with other people. We need to deliver it or export it into its final output. So whether it be an MP4 or depending on what you need to upload it to YouTube, this is where we export that final stage to get it. So that's just a little bit of a run through where we're going to go in this tutorial today. So let's get to the first step, and that's importing our media into DaVinci Resolve. right before I bring in my first amount of media inside DaVinci Resolve 17 here, I just want to point out the project settings. So if we go up to File and then Project Settings right here, I'm going to open this up, and it's kind of defaulted to what when I started the project, defaulted to these settings. If you did want to change these settings, this is where you would change those default ones here. I'm going to leave everything the same here. I just wanted to make sure you knew that where that was, because when I bring in videos, or sometimes it'll say, do I want to match the settings? And those are the settings that they're going to match to. Now, to bring in different video and media clips to here, if you notice in the left-hand side up here, we have, this is access to my different files and folders on my computer. So what I'm going to do is, if I go down, and I happen to know where my files are, if I look under users and then teach, and then I go down to my desktop and I go down, you can see I have a DaVinci Resolve 17 folder. Now, this connects this spot to that folder where I was putting my media. So let's say if you took video from your phone or whatever device you had, or you downloaded audio and you put them in one folder to kind of, and I could have subfolders in here too, but then you could really organize, just put them in one place, and then you could get them right in DaVinci Resolve 17 in here. I haven't brought them in yet. I've just kind of have a shortcut to them where I can bring them in. To bring them in, what I need to do is to drag them down. So if I go ahead and take this and I bring this into the media pool, now that's brought in to it. Okay, so nothing is in it until I bring it down here. This is not in the media pool yet. I need to bring it down. Another way I could do it, this is the same folder right beside here, and that's why I'm showing it here. If I open this up, I can actually bring in, drag them right from here too, and they go into here. So I can bring in these clips, just like you can see that there's audio clips here too. If I drag them down, they'll come in. I can click on different ones. I'm just going to bring a few in to work with. We're going to have a few with images so you can see just brought down. So we'll bring in just one more here, like here. So where do these go? So I'm going to go to the edit right here and click on the edit, and look what is in here. So now these are the ones I brought in, and I'm ready to take them from my, where I brought them into my media pool. This is my media pool right here. I can start bringing them into my timeline that's over here. Now you can go through, if I go and hover over any of these, you can see as I bring my mouse over top, I can kind of play it and get a preview of it right through there. So I can see this is just an image, this is just another image, and as I go through, I can kind of see this is a video. If I go through and just drag, so it gives you an idea of what is in each one. Now, if you wanted to change the layout of how these look, you can go through and adjust them up here to get different views of it depending on what information you want. I'm just going to leave things. I'm not going to change things too much in here, again, to keep it simple. But we brought our media from our computer into DaVinci Resolve 17 now. Now we're ready for the next step to bring it in to our timeline to start editing. One more way I wanted to show you to bring your media in is right from a window over into the pool this way. So I tend to go from the media pool still, but if you want to save yourself, you can do it that way and just drag it across. Let's get started now with dragging some video clips and some different types of clips down into our timeline, which is down here. Now I'm going to start with just this one. You can hear the audio in this one. I'm going to drag it down and just drop it down into video 1, and you can see there's audio. The green is the audio that's connected to the video. If I drag these around, notice if I drag it up, it created another video 2 track, and I can do the same thing, drag it up, a video 3, so it creates these new tracks. I can move it around in space and time in the track. So right now, this would be the first clip in my video that I'm creating, and it's starting right at the beginning of this clip. Now, if I moved it a little bit ahead and took this red thing, this is the playhead, I'm going to drag it back, and I can hit the space bar to play it, and that's how I tend to do it. Notice that there was a little bit of black in there because there's a gap there. If I didn't want the gap, I need to close the gap, and that's the same thing when we bring in more videos and images when we put them together. I'm going to bring in another video here, so we'll bring this one in here and just drag it down. You can see this one does not have any audio attached to it. So if I bring it in here, I can drag my playhead to watch it. I can hit play up here to watch it too. And then I can hit stop. I tend to do a lot by dragging my playhead because then I can get exactly where I want the frame. And one way you can do this is zooming up to get more accurate if you're trimming or slicing, and that's by using these tools right up here. Now, if I go ahead and hit full extent zoom, notice it zoomed up. Nothing changed in the duration of anything, but allows me to go frame by frame a little bit easier and pull my playhead across. Now I could even zoom up more to a detail zoom, and then I can drag. You can see it just becomes easier to drag to certain spots on this one. I'm just going to go back. We can also adjust this through here, and we can adjust the way we want. And I tend to go back and forth, kind of the big picture to the zooming in when I'm editing. I can bring an image in. So this is an image, and I can bring this into here with any of these, and I can drag them around. I could highlight everything and I can move them around. So if I needed to move a chunk of videos together, I could draw this shape, the rectangle over top, make sure all is selected. You can see by the red around them, and then I can move them. Or I could click off, nothing is selected, select these two, and now I can move them all around. So just by clicking and dragging, you can move them in. Audio, you can hear there's some audio. I can drag this down below and place this in the audio track. So now I've brought in a couple of videos. This video has attached audio with it. This video had no video or no audio in it, and this is just an image. So if I go ahead and click on it and hit play, this is just an image that will go by. And it has music because I brought the music down below. And at any of these, if I want them gone, I can hit delete, and I can keep moving things around and placing them in the order that I want. But remember, where there's a gap, there's going to be black space or black on the screen like that. If I put them together like so, you can see now it will just go from one to the other without that gap there. So that's just some basics about moving your audio in, or moving your different clips into the timeline, just to get and understand. Try playing around, moving them around. If you are working on a project that you want saved, I would suggest that you go up to File, and you can see Save Project as, because if it crashes, you want to make sure it's saved. Just to point out too, down below we have a home button in the bottom corner that if I click on it, I can create new projects from this way too, but I can also do it from the File menu, and my settings are down here also. Okay, so let's get ready to move to the next step, and that's going to be some editing with our clips that we brought in. So in this video tutorial, I'm just talking about basic editing to get you started. So I'm going to bring in a couple clips. I'm going to bring in this clip right here, this first one, bring it down. And I'm also going to bring down a second one here. The first thing I want to show you, and this isn't really editing, but it's just about layers and understanding. If I put one on top of the other, if I go ahead and play it, only the top one shows. So if you notice that you're not seeing something in your preview of your timeline, it's because that something's on top of it. There's reasons why we use layers and everything. In this video, I won't be going over it that much on it, but just so you know, that can happen. So I'm just going to bring this down. I'm going to zoom up. Also, when I'm doing this, I just want to show you when you're moving around your timeline, when you zoom up, there's this bar down below that you can grab and to bring it along the whole timeline as you work your way if it gets longer than what fits into your window. So I'm just going to bring this back. Now I have this clip, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to edit a clip, and that's going to be from trimming and slicing. Now with trimming, what you can do, if I have a clip and I go and bring it over top of another clip, I actually just trimmed off part of it here. So if you bring down a clip and bring it over top, that's actually trimming this. It just made this shorter. So if I bring it even back further, this clip is a lot shorter now, and it's trimmed it just by bringing it over. Notice if I bring it away, look at the size of the clip. But don't worry, you can get it back. If you've trimmed something, you haven't changed the original, I can hover over, click, and drag back to where I want it to. I can't drag it back longer than what the original clip was, but I can drag it back to how it was. Now I can also trim this way too. If I'm just trimming individual, I can grab from either end. You can see how I can move it back and forth. If it's something from the beginning, I can trim off the beginning of it. So I can make these clips shorter that way. And so that's the trimming. Now I just wanted to point out with the snap tool, if I turn the snap tool off and now it's not as highlighted, you can see if I bring it over, these slide really easily over top of each other when I bring it back and forth. If I turn the snap tool on, it kind of snaps to the end. And this is good when you're trying to get rid of those gaps in your video. You can bring it and it just snaps on, and you have to push it a little harder to go over top of it. So I usually keep it on, but if you know you're trimming lots where you just want to smooth over another clip and to get it to the exact point where you want it, you can just turn that off. Now I just wanted to show you a different ways. Sometimes so you can either trim from the beginning or the end, but sometimes it's the middle that you need something taken out of. So again, I'll just zoom up a little bit more so you can see so the clip's a little bit larger here, and we have the this blade edit, and what that allows me to do, as I hover over a piece of it, you can see over the video, I can clip just like that. And now you can see that there's a line there, and I'm going to move over back to my tool here that I can move, and I have 2 chunks. I haven't deleted anything yet, but I've cut it, and so I've made it 2 chunks. Nothing shows up that if I was going to play it, nothing will show up there like that. If it's side by side, I didn't cut anything out. But let's say if I wanted to cut something out in the middle of it, I could take my blade tool again and go here and click it, and now you notice there's a chunk. So I could go to it and I could take this complete chunk out. I could change the order if I wanted to play it at the end. Maybe I want to just delete it. And then you notice how it just clicked back together, and now I'd have a gap. So now if I'm playing it, you can see it did a little bit of a jump there with it. Not super noticeable, just because the video was pretty simple and the dog was already laying down. So that's 3 different ways you can be trimming and using the blade to edit, to cut things out of the video that you don't want. Now I just wanted to point out when you bring images in, so I'll bring in this image right here into the timeline. I'm just going to delete this one and put it here. So the duration of a sensitive image is static. I can go ahead and play it, but I can play it longer. I can stretch it longer. So when if I want it to play longer, I can stretch it because nothing's being changed. I can't do that with video. I can change the speed of video and the duration, speed it up, slow it down. But with a picture, I can make it play as long as I want just by grabbing the ends to it. Now audio, if I go ahead and grab audio, I can trim just like video too. So if I grab the ends, I could drag and trim it this way. I could use my blade tool, cut it off, and then I can go ahead and then select it. Maybe I don't want this, and delete it. Another way to get something back is if you're on your Windows, you can Control Z, or on your Mac, Command Z, and then it will put it back like that too. But I'm just going to leave this gone. So those are some different ways that you can trim your video, lengthen the pictures, and trim your audio too. And these are the basic, all video editing programs will do these same things, but this would be the basics of video editing. So two things what I want to show you now is how to change the duration of a clip so you can speed it up or slow it down, and how to unlink audio from video. Now in the first one, if I hit play right here and I have this clip here, I'll hit play. Well, I'll just bring back my playhead, hit play. You can see how slow this is running here. Now I want this much faster, and it's quite easy to change the duration of a clip if you wanted to speed it up or slow it down. If you right click on the clip, you get a lot more options. Now I want to change the clip speed, and go ahead and take a look at these different ones to your clips and play with it and see what different ones will do. But I'm going to change the clip speed. Notice now the clip speed is at 100%. I wanted this to go faster, so I need to increase it over 100%. And I want to be about 3 seconds. I can see the duration here. I'm going to click in here and hold my mouse down, and I'm just going to drag, and I'm watching. I could write the numbers, but I'm going to just drag in here, and I'm watching for the duration for it to go to about 3 seconds here. So I'll just drag a little quicker, and right about there. Now there's a few other options I could put on here, from freeze frame, reverse speed. I'm not going to be working with that in this video. I'm going to hit change. Notice it just shortened up. Nothing got deleted in it. If I hit play now on it, it plays much faster because I increased the percentages. Now the opposite would also be, if I wanted it slower, I just need to bring it down. So that's just something about that part. Now if I wanted to, if I bring this down into here, notice I have audio on this clip here. Maybe I didn't want the audio attached on this, because right now whenever I move it, they're together. If I right click, take a look where it says link clips. Now I'm going to click on it and click off. Now I can select them one at a time. So maybe you want the audio deleted on it, just like that. So those are just a couple tips I just wanted to show you on these ones. Also, if you're working with different tracks, you can mute the track. So if I mute it here and hit play, I don't hear anything. I didn't delete it, but I did mute it. So the other thing that I wanted to point out is, if you have your videos in place and where you want them, you can go ahead and hit lock. Now no one can change, or I can't change this layer anymore. So if you have things in place, and if you have that locked and you don't want to mess it around, hit the lock on these. You can hit unlock and then adjust them after. So those are just some more tips with some video editing features that you can use. All right, so now I want to show you how you can transform your clips. And by transform, what I mean is you can change the size or rotate them. And this is how you do it. So I just have a clip in here in video one, and I want to transform it. Now there's different ways I can do this, but right here, if I click on this, you can see transform. There's also crop and dynamic zoom, and I'll go over these three here. So I'll click on transform. When I do that, the handles appear around it. And so what that enables me to do, I can grab the handles, bring them in. I can move this to a different spot. I can grab this top one and rotate it here. So I can move it around, make it smaller. Now, what I want you to notice is up in the top right-hand corner under the inspector here, that these are the things that are happening here. So the position and everything, everything's got moved and it's showing up in here. So for instance, if I reset these, you can see the zoom is gone and the position, and I can reset these back and it will take me through the different points until it all got back to normal. So that's how you would reset or adjust. This is the reset button. I could put in the numbers if I wanted to. A lot of times I'm just doing it by hand and moving them around. Now notice it's all black in the background because there's nothing behind it. Now watch this. If I drag this up one layer and take, let's say, this video and drag it below. Now if I go ahead and play this here, oh wait, there you can see two videos playing at once. So it's like picture in picture. I could do this on another layer and put another picture in and adjust and transform it just like that. So that's one effect of the transforming. But with crop, let's take a look at crop. So I'm just going to delete this here, and I'm going to delete these ones here, and I'm going to drag this back in to video one. Now with crop, what you can do, if I go here, you can focus on a certain area. So if I was going to go to crop, just like that, and now I hit play, you can see it's a shorter, smaller picture now. Now, if I go back to transform it, I could make it fit still, but now it's going to stretch just the cropped area so I can fit it into it. So I cropped it first and then I stretched it to fit the picture if I want, but I can still, if I go Control Z back, I could move it up again and I could put a picture behind it, or this is a different video. And I can adjust it so just of the cropped one, just like that. So now the other one I wanted to show you was with the dynamic zoom. So if I bring this image in again, and this time I'm going to drop down and click dynamic zoom. I want to make sure dynamic zoom is on over here too. Dynamic zoom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down and move it over here. So watch now. It adds this dynamic zoom that it's moving to fit where I told it to start with and where then it ends back in it. So that's with it adding to the dynamic zoom just by changing the area, the size, and moving to where you want to add that effect. But as you go through, you can reset them all through here through the inspector. The other thing I just wanted to point out was the transparency. So if I bring this up one more layer, and again, I'll bring this down again. The transparency is how you see through things. So the opacity, if I bring this through, you can see now it's see-through here. So just like that, I have two videos playing at once and you can adjust it. And again, go back and you can reset all the different things. Now do take a look at all the different things. I'm not going through everything here today, but take a look at all the different things you can add to the clip and then reset through the inspector here. I'm just going to talk a bit about audio here, and I talked already about how you trim it and slice it to get the exact part that you want, but you can do some more adjusting. I'm going to go and bring an audio track and just drop it into audio here. Notice how I can see the wavelength. If you wanted to adjust the size of what you're seeing here, take a look at this timeline view options. And if you're not seeing all your audio, you can have audio view options, or you can increase the size if you wanted to be able to see it more. So you can make those adjustments to it. Now, I'm just going to go ahead. I hit play. Now the music starts in there. You notice right away we do have a mixer. So if I click it, it's gone, open. I have it selected and I have it placed down here now. And I can make adjustments and I can move it down here. So when it plays, now it's quieter. Like so. So you can adjust with the mixer on it. But what I want to talk about is the inspector and adding some keyframes. So with the inspector, you notice there is a volume level here that you can make the adjust. And what you notice is you can see how it affects the waves in it. So if I hit play and I start to bring it down, you can hear it get quieter on it. So you can make those adjustments to it. You can also if you take a look at the different ones, there's the pan, and remember there's the reset buttons just like I showed you before. There's pan. If I play it, I'm not sure if you can hear the difference in the pan, but of this you will with the pitch. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit. And then we also have our equalizer if we turn it on. And you can start to hear the different changes in the music here. So those are just some different ways that you can adjust the audio in here. The other thing I wanted to point out is with keyframes, because maybe you want to bring it up and down through the audio clip. And if I open it up, see this right here, if I click on this, I'm going to open it up. And now what enables me to do to add keyframes? So I'll bring this back here. And by clicking this dot right here, I added a dot. You can see to it, that red dot. I'm going to go and click a few of these here. So I've added another one. And I'm just going to add 4 all together. So I'll go and move my playhead and add another one. Now I can make adjustments to this. So if I drag this down, I can drag one up And as you can see what it does to the different parts. So as the audio is playing now, I can adjust it to different parts. So maybe there's somebody's talking at this part and you want to hear them more clearly. And then it goes into more images and videos, and then the audio will pick up at that point. So those are just some things with audio I just wanted to show you as you're playing along with it, that you can get really specific on how you want your videos to sound. The simplest way to add transitions, so transitions are between different clips and make it smooth when it goes from one to the other. So you can see right now I have things set up, no transition, and I have them overlapped. And the reason why I have them overlapped, I'll show you in a moment. That was kind of a more of just a jump from one frame to the other, but I want it more smooth. If I make sure your effect library is clicked, so if I click it on, this opens here, and in the toolbox, look under video transition. So I have some right through here. Now, all I need to do, and I'll just take this cross dissolved, drag it onto this one right here. You can see as it appears, this white box. The other thing to notice is in the clip inspector, if I go up to transition, this is what I have right now, and I can adjust it even more. I'll just show you what it looks like here. So now we have this nice dissolve between the two different video clips, just like that. I can make some adjustments. I could stretch it here if I want to, but you can go through here and make more adjustments. You can even change the type of transition. So if I go back now, it should be a center wipe, just like that. So I can go through, I can take a look at different ones. If I go and drop it, this is a picture to a video here. So this is a video here, and I'll drop it, and then I'll bring my playhead up, and I hit play, and you can see the order that it came through. So now I'd want to switch it around. So I could delete this one. If I select this, I can delete it, and I can bring it over this way and put it on this picture. Now look at it here. It goes, so you just got to make sure you have your layers. If you're overlapping like that, you have them in the right place, just like that. So that's an easy way to add transition. Do take a look at the other ones too, even with audio transition, the crossfade that you can just drag and drop, and then you do have different effects that you can do the same thing by dropping it onto video clips. Then check into your inspector to see if you can adjust or if you need to reset back to normal. The last thing I want to show you before you deliver your video or export it out to wherever you want it to go, whether it be YouTube or maybe just even locally on your computer, are titles. So titles, if I go over to make sure your effects library are open, you can see I showed you video and audio transitions, but here we have titles. And now with titles, they have all these different examples. They're templates. You can bring them over. For example, if I wanted to drag this one, I could just drag it right over onto a top layer, and then you can see there it is right there. So if I hit play, I have that title in it. Now you can still adjust it in there. If I go over, and again, inspector, always check out your inspector. When I double click on this, it opens it up if it wasn't already, but go into your inspector, and then you can type whatever. So if it was dog on a boat, like so, I can go through, and then I can pick my different fonts. I can take a look as I go through. I can change my color. If I wanted to be a different one, I'll just hit OK. I can change the size on it. So I can make these adjustments. If I click on it, you can see I can drag it into a different place on it also. You can go through, make the alignment changes, font style, all these different changes. And remember, there's the reset button or the reset on the right hand side that you can go through, drop shadow, all these different things. If you want to stroke around the outside of it, take a look and play with these. Now the nice thing is you have it created here. Doesn't mean I can't move it somewhere else. So I can still drag it to somewhere else. Maybe I want to change it to dog eating. I can just go back, and as I go through it, I can change the text here. Now I do want to show you there's also the fusion titles. You can drag those on. They just have a little bit of movement to them. If I grab one, drag it on here, and what you'll notice is as it goes through, It just has a little differently. You can see as it comes through here, and I can double click on this one. I can make the changes to it. You can see from tracking and everything. We have our small text, our large text, and again, I can move it. So as I hit play, you can see as the kind of an animation comes on. So these are just simple to use. Drag them. So maybe you need your intro, you need credits, you want different things throughout the video to give better explanation. Take a look at all the different ones you have here that you can just drag on. So let's move. Let's say your video is all done. You've added, you've edited, you've had transitions, you've had your audio, you have your text in there, you have it all finished, and you want to export it so you can share it with other people. Okay, so we're at the point where you need to render it, and this is under the Deliver tab. So I'm going to go to click on this. You can see I have some videos, some pictures, some text, some audio in here. So I'm going to go ahead, hit Deliver. And now, so we want to make sure that when you make sure you have the right part selected that you want to have finished. So this grayed area right here. So if you want to make sure you have the whole video captured or record that is exported, make sure this gray bar is selected all the way. It says if you bring it back, it's only going to do up to that point. So make sure you have this in the right place. Now looking up, so we up in the top left hand corner here, we have some custom settings you could do. So you could go through, you could you know, give it the title, give it where do you want this to go save, you to go find it. I'll just leave it there, and it shows me the path for it. And as I go through, I can pick my format. Here it is QuickTime, but I can adjust and go through and pick whatever I wanted. When it comes to the resolution, I could pick it and go through. Now, if you're using something like YouTube, and a lot of people are to be uploading their video, if you click YouTube, it has all the settings there set for you. So as you go through, you can see the resolution, frame rate, everything is set up for YouTube. When you go through and you can pick from Vimeo, Twitter, and you go through and kind of just pull through this, you can see all the different ones through here. I'm going to leave it at YouTube. When you're all ready and you got all your settings, what you need to do is just go add to rendered queue. And then replace, I'm going to say replace. If I already had a file there, name that. And then you can see that here is the job one. And I'm just going to hit render all, and then it's going to start the rendering process. And you can kind of see it go through. This is a really short video that I created here. And you can see that as I'm talking, the percentage that it goes through, and the file will be there. And that will be the file. If that's what if you're uploading it to YouTube, that's where you can bring it into that, or it's going to be saved on your computer that you can email or share how you would want. So I hope this walkthrough of DaVinci Resolve 17 has helped you get started. That was the goal of this video, is to help you get started and comfortable. This video editor can do so much more. I've just touched on it. I'll look at your comments down below of what I could create that could help you more. But again, making sure that you have the right computer to run this, and making sure that you have the time to go through and learn. But if you do, you're going to create some fantastic video for people to watch. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.